In the city that never sleeps, there's a detective who only works when you do. They call me the Sandman, but I don't bring dreams. I walk through them. My name is Kai, and my precinct is the human subconscious. The cases that land on my desk aren't found in police files. They're whispered in nightmares, hidden in the silent theaters of the mind. My latest case, a high-profile art heist. A priceless diamond, the Eye of Nocturne, vanished from a sealed vault. No forced entry, no tripped alarms, no witnesses. The police were stumped. The only clue was the security guard, a man named Miller, found in a state of catatonic shock, mumbling about a shadow with no face. To the world, it was the perfect crime. To me, it was just another night at the office. To enter a dream, you need a connection, an anchor. For Miller, it was the small, worn-out photo of his daughter he clutched in his hand. I held its duplicate, a sterile copy, from the evidence bag. Taking a deep breath, I closed my eyes, and the world dissolved. The sterile scent of my office faded, replaced by the smell of ozone and wet pavement. I opened my eyes to a city street, slick with perpetual rain, under a bruised purple sky. This was Miller's mindscape. The dream world is a distorted mirror of reality, shaped by memory and fear. Buildings leaned at impossible angles, their windows like 1,000 vacant eyes. The street was empty, except for a single, flickering street lamp, and under it, a figure. Miller. He looked younger here, but his face was etched with terror. He was staring at the bank, a monstrous fortress of black marble that pulsed with a faint, sickly green light. He kept repeating the same words. It wasn't supposed to be here. The shadow, it wasn't supposed to be real. I approached him cautiously. In the dreamscape, you're a ghost until you choose to be seen. Miller, I said softly. He flinched, spinning around. His eyes were wide with a terror that was all too real. Who are you? Are you one of them? Before I could answer, a screech echoed through the dream, a sound like tearing metal. Miller pointed a trembling finger past me. It's here. The shadow. I turned, and my blood ran cold. It wasn't a person. It was a shifting, inky blackness. A void in the shape of a man, absorbing the light around it. It had no face, no features, just an unnerving stillness. It glided towards the bank, passing through the solid marble walls as if they were mist. This was the thief, but this was no ordinary burglar. This was a nightmare given form, a living intrusion. I had to follow it. Inside the dream bank, the laws of physics were a joke. The floor was a chessboard stretching to infinity, and floating in the center, where the vault should be, was the Eye of Nocturne. It blazed with an internal light, casting long, dancing shadows. The faceless entity reached for it, its formless hand extending. I knew I couldn't fight it directly. Here, thoughts are weapons, and fear is a current that can sweep you away. I focused on my own anchor, the cold, hard logic of my profession. This is a dream, I reminded myself. You control the rules. I pictured a wall of solid steel erupting from the floor between the shadow and the diamond. The chessboard buckled, and a gleaming barrier slammed into place. The shadow recoiled, its form wavering for a second. It recognized a foreign will, another dreamer. It turned its featureless head towards me. There was no face, but I felt a gaze of pure, malevolent intelligence. The room began to warp. The chessboard floor tilted, threatening to send me sliding into a swirling abyss that opened up beneath it. The shadow wasn't just a passive memory, it was an active consciousness, fighting back. This wasn't Miller's nightmare. Someone else was in this dream. Another dream walker, and they were far more experienced than I was. I had to find the source. This elaborate defense, the faceless shadow, it was all a construct to hide the thief's identity. I shouted at Miller. What did you see before this? Before the shadow. The smallest detail. Miller, cowering behind a giant chess piece, squeezed his eyes shut. A glint, he stammered. On the floor. Something small. Round. Like a button. A button. That was Italiano. A tiny, insignificant detail from the real world, smuggled into the dream. I focused my will, pushing against the chaos the other dreamer was creating. I pictured the real-world security room, the monitor displays, the polished floor. The dreamscape flickered, the chessboard dissolving for a moment to reveal the sterile office. And there, on the floor by the console, was a single, ornate cufflink, engraved with a serpent eating its own tail. An Ouroboros. The moment my consciousness registered the detail, the dream shattered. I was thrown back into my own mind, the scent of my office flooding my senses. My heart was pounding. An Ouroboros cufflink. I knew that symbol. It belonged to Alistair Finch, a reclusive billionaire and collector of rare antiquities. Known for his ruthless acquisition methods and his fascination with the occult, Finch wasn't just the client who hired me to find the diamond. He was the thief. He had staged the robbery, hiring me to create a perfect alibi. Who would suspect the victim? But he made one mistake. He was a dream walker himself. He had entered Miller's dream to implant the memory of a supernatural thief, a shadow with no face, to make the crime seem impossible. But in his arrogance, he'd left a psychic fingerprint, a trace of his own subconscious. He dropped it in the real world, and a fragment of that memory bled into Miller's dream. Now I had the truth. But what a dangerous truth it was. How do you arrest a man who can walk through walls, both real and imaginary? How do you build a case on evidence gathered from a dream? Finch thought he was untouchable, a ghost in the machine. He believed no one could follow him into the labyrinth of the mind. He was wrong. My name is Kai, and I'm a dream detective. For me, the real mystery wasn't how Alistair Finch stole the diamond. The real mystery was how I was going to prove it. He might be a king in the world of dreams, but even kings can have nightmares. And I was about to become his. My job isn't just about solving crimes. It's about hunting monsters, even the ones that hide inside your head. And my hunt for Finch was just beginning. Thank you for watching. If you're intrigued by the mysteries hidden in our minds, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because my caseload is always full and you won't want to miss where we go next. Stay curious and sleep well. Or 3, 2,